I think one of the biggest misconceptions about alcoholism is that it is a lack of willpower, when in reality, in most cases, nothing could be further from the truth, because most people start in their high school and college age years through peer pressure, and they get caught in the web of being similar, being able to fit in. And it's important not to be weird if you don't drink. It could also be trauma in childhood, abuse, as well as hereditary issues. You could have a genetic predisposition. I mean, there's a host of reasons why people drink. In later years, people drink because they become chemically, emotionally, and physically dependent. And willpower is no longer a factor because the person is actually has created a mental health disease. So anybody can get caught in this web, but willpower is not the reason. Rather, the lack of willpower is not the reason, because you have to realize anybody could go down this road of alcoholism if the right situation takes place. I mean, as we are developing as human beings in our teens and early 20s, it's a big factor emotionally to be able to fit in with our culture, fit in with our friends, and fit in with the people that we associate with and identify with. And a lot of times drinking is part of that rites of passage as a child or as a younger person when our minds are still developing. There's not a blame. This is just a reality. But it's not willpower. Someone doesn't have a lack of willpower thinking, well, I want to stop drinking. It's not that simple. But these things can develop in those years, the developmental years, into problems when someone does become dependent emotionally, and their identity becomes part of drinking. Most people grow out of it at that era, and the vast majority of people never become alcoholics. So as a result of this myth of willpower, a lot of families tend to be very reactive to the alcoholic in their family, which is completely normal. It's completely normal to be, angry and be filled with animosity towards a family member who is doing irrational acts, driving into houses, getting DUIs, getting drunk in unnatural situations or uncomfortable situations, rather. And it's very easy for families to be reactive when, in fact, this is when they should step in and full blow get these people help immediately, rather than condemning the person, and then the alcoholic drives further into darkness. They hide their bottles in cans, they mask what they're drinking, and they drink in isolation. They do that because everybody around them is telling them, everything what they should hear, which is support. And at that time in their life, they need support more than they need condemnation. So if you're a family member to an alcoholic and you keep saying over and over again, why don't you just stop drinking? Why don't you just stop drinking? Can't you just stop drinking? Because you have to understand, it's not a lack of willpower. And it makes about as much sense as telling somebody who has cancer or heart disease, why don't you just stop your stage 2 or stage 3 cancer? Why don't you just stop it? Metaphorically, it's very similar. It's not a lack of willpower. And there's no person who's an alcoholic who wants to remain an alcoholic. The choice is really out of their hands to some extent mentally. And this is, it may be controversial for some, but it's actually a reality. And again, if you want help with the alcoholic in your family, or if you're an alcoholic yourself, please click on the link above. Schedule a breakthrough call. I've helped a lot of families of alcoholics and alcoholics themselves. Please like, share, and comment. I also have a Facebook group called Amanda, A Cautionary Tale of Alcoholism. We talk about alcoholic issues, family issues, and everything, all of the above. And again, thanks for listening.